Hi guys, this is Nathaniel and this is the Graduate Compass. So we're going to be going through some soft skills here on the Graduate Compass, and that's just to really help graduates through the process of, let's say, for example, interviews, as well as conducting yourself within your first graduate role or within the early stages of your graduate role. So you've gone to the interview, you've been rejected, now you're going to ask for feedback. Does that not sound wrong to you? So the reason why I actually bring this up is because I've actually heard it from quite a few people, and I've seen it on some blogs that people ask, is it right to ask for feedback after you've been rejected? I know that there is an absence when you are a graduate of employers actually giving feedback after the interview, but to tackle it by essentially asking after the interview, I just don't feel is an effective use of your time, to be fair. So guys, to cut to the chase, and the reason why I don't think it's a good idea is that you have to remember the priorities of a recruiter. You have to remember the priorities of an employer at that particular moment. So prior to the interview, you are a top priority. You're someone who could potentially be coming to the role. You're someone who's going to be the future of the future of their business in that particular position. They're going to be putting in a lot of time and effort into getting you interested in the role, getting you to come to the interview. You're going to be their main priority there. That's going to be the main objective to get you there. Now, once they've gone through that process and realized we're not really that interested in you, it happens. What motivation do they now have to give you feedback? None, essentially. So that's the issue there. When you're asking for feedback past the interview, there's no real motivation, no real incentive for the employer or the recruiter, whoever you're dealing with, to actually give you feedback. Does that make sense? Because you've now gone from priority, let's say top 10, to just non-existent. They have 1,001 things that they need to do within their day-to-day, as well as interviewing other people and interviewing and getting back to people that they are actually interviewing for the role, and they're going to be putting through to the next round. So to ask for feedback after the interview's finished, and emailing in or calling in to get the feedback, it's going to be a bit of a push, and that's hence the reason why you might find some delay. I definitely did. I've done it before. I've been in that boat before, but you might find a bit of a delay or just no reply at all. Don't get me wrong, people can get back to you. I remember talking to someone about their experience, and they did get back to that person with feedback, but it was just really generic. It was really generic, and they didn't really feel. I've gotten some feedback like this as well, and I think we shared the exact same view. Didn't feel that the actual advice and the feedback given was genuine. It was just something like, oh, just don't take it too hard, there you go. Here's some words on an email for you. So, moving on, what can you do? I always believe that you should ask for feedback. If you really want feedback, you should really ask for it in the interview. And the reason why it's really important for you to ask for feedback in the interview is because they're going to be able to give you an honest review in light of everything that you said and in the exact same context as well. So it's not going to be, they're now looking back on it in hindsight, and no, you want it right there in the moment, feedback given to you. And I know this can feel unnatural to some, but you really do need to close that interview. When I say close that interview, I don't mean ask the person for the job. I really mean just bring the interview to an end. When you are asking your questions, your very last question, you really want to bring the interview to an end with a question that asks them to reflect back on you. So the question can look like, based on everything that we have discussed in regards to my skills and the actual position, how do you think that how I would fit into the role? right? And it would be honest feedback being given to you, whether they thought that you were a fit or they thought that you were not a fit. If you needed some more clear feedback, or if you thought that you had done something wrong, you could actually just ask them, are there any reservations that you had with me and the role? You know, these are questions that really open up the employer, and it really just gets them to review you right there on the spot. So you know when you're leaving the interview, right, you have two things that's open to you. If there's anything that they want to bring up or they want to prod on a bit further, you can answer in that interview, right? And additionally, once you've left the interview, you can really just say, okay, that went really well, that went really bad. And you have that concrete fact. So if anything happens, you don't get the job for any reason, you know, and you already have feedback on what it was that you could have done. Now, again, it depends on the employer. It's not that every employer is going to answer those questions truthfully, but it does open up a conversation that allows them to give you feedback and not have you wondering when you're at home, did I get the job or not? Did they like me or not? Was I good? Did they think that I was good for the role or not? You know, those questions there that have no answers, and then you will ask a bit later on with a no reply in most cases. So, but guys, please do let me know, what are your views about it? How do you ask for feedback in an interview or after the interview? Do you use a different technique than I use? And yeah, let me know in the comments below. I'm pretty sure everyone can benefit from it. Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, I guess, and I'll see you in the next one.